Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I would like to present you a very complicated trick that you can set up to pretty much trick anyone, opponent of your similar level, or even knock out your coach. So I'll spend multiple videos introducing the details of this trick so you can feel comfortable playing them in your tournaments. So the first move you need to set up is to play the 2-space low pincer, as you can see on the board. So my trick is going to be just about the main line, that is for black to pressure white like this. Obviously there's some niche lines that I will present a little bit at the end, just for from black's perspective as how you can avoid the trick. You can also choose safer variations like this one. Alright, but we'll go ahead and present the most exciting thing, right? We're gonna push and cut black off, right? There's no refutation to this. So white is gonna, black extends and white extends, and this becomes complete chaos in the first 10 moves. So against this, black has two main variations. Well, let's first look at white. This is not working. If you play out this one and then hopefully you can connect, but it just doesn't connect. You get these two stones killed. If these two stones got killed, these two stones lost their purpose of living, really. So that's game over immediately for black. And of course, if black plays here, we can just cut black off, and then this stone doesn't do much, and then these guys are not in a better situation. So black would not do that exchange. The main variation, first main variations for black to sliding here, and we'll be focusing on this for the first couple videos. It's a very complicated trick, a lot of memorization to do on your end, but I think the payoff is actually quite good, because you'll have a very strong secret weapon in your repertoire, right? Like, this is not a trick that, I mean, if you want, you can play those in the casual games if you don't take it too seriously. But if you're someone who takes Go very seriously and you play things in tournaments, you can think about saving those in your tournaments as well. Well, what I said is kind of evil, but you know, this is what tricks here is all about. Black slides in and white needs to immediately slide out as well, right? This is a forcing move. Against this one, the first mistake that black can make is to play the Kosumi here, right? This is obviously a very bad move, because when white blocks here, there's a Mii, right? If black fixed the problem over here, white Kosumi's out, this group becomes way too strong, which means these guys are pretty much dead. And then white controls the outside. All what black got is a little bit of profits on the inside. So this is not acceptable for black. But of course, if black, you know, blocks that possibility, white now has a very severe attach on the second line. If black pushes here, we can just cut. Black connects, we can pull the stone back. These guys are dead, and then that's immediately game over. Any struggle is not going to work, right? So at this point, we can hane on the outside and then follow up. So black will only have two liberties left. Well, what about black sacrifice the stone? Well, we can just Atari and then make sure you extend, because this A18 is very important. That threatens black's ice space. Black likely needs to get himself out, and then we can just there's no point in pushing here because black can extend. Okay, so this would actually be a terrible exchange, but you can just hop on the outside, forge a very strong attack, right? So once you exchange a couple moves over here, like let's say for example like this, and then black tries to run, and then you can start you can start thinking about attacking black in some sort of way, right? So you can probably start building on the bottom side. This is following a little bit the principle of attack, building on the bottom side while keeping an eye on the insecurity that black has, right? This makes black very uncomfortable. All right, so that is a better position clearly for white as well. Right, so the Kosumi here is a mistake, right? You probably can catch some fish with this mistake. You know, a single HQ level player or even low dan level player who are not very careful. Very easy to fall for it. But we can't really expect them to fall for it, right? They'll play the main line. This is the correct move. White needs to attach in the corner, and this is another place for mistake, right? If black hanes, white is going to attach here, right? This is black falling into another trap. So if black play here, we can cut this stone off and everything dies, and that's game over right there. If black's most resilient defense is a capture, right? And then we can just connect. We need to connect solid here, very important. And now what happens is these guys are dead, right? So if you try to struggle, we have a Tsuji here. Black's only hope is to hop out, right? Because this move doesn't really help black. Because if you connect, we can just squeeze. Now white has 4 liberties outside and black only has 3. That's game over as well. So black's most resilient defense is the hop, but then we can push on top. The wedge over here, right? So we have to connect. White is gonna turn. Black push, white extends, black push again, white extends again. And now it looks like white only has 4 liberties and black has 4, but this is actually a winning capture race, assuming that black does not need to play a move in the corner. In fact, black needs to play a move in the corner, right? Because when white extends, right, this corner probably just vanishes. But even if, let's assume that white connects here, assume that black has no problem over here, right? Big assumption. White still has this Tsuji here, that is to hane. Black's forced to play here, then we can just, you know, kill black from behind, and that's game over as well. All right, so very interesting. That just shows you once this hane happens, black has no way to escape. Very clear game over. Well, maybe if you play against your sensei, he's gonna find some way to come back from elsewhere on the board, but this is a local knockout, right, for him if that happens. But don't worry, I don't expect that to happen to your sensei because he's a good player. He's not gonna play this kind of mistakes. The other mistake is probably for black to push here. This is not an obvious mistake, but I've seen people playing this. There have been people playing this against me as well. I just block here, and then they start squeezing me like this. But it turns out all these exchanges are not helping black a lot. In fact, it makes white's liberty extremely strong. Here, black needs to live, right? Black needs to live first. And, you know, if you try to kill white in here, that's not going to work because white has too many liberties. So black needs to figure out a way to live first. When black attaches here, we can just extend. This is an excellent move. First of all, let's see why this doesn't work, right? If you play here and then hope you can connect, then we can just play here, right? So this does not work. You can happily capture the 1 stone, but if you get these 5 captured, these becomes completely useless, and that's game over. And if black connects, we can just connect on the outside. As long as these guys don't die, and they won't, what's remaining for black is pretty much, right, these guys, they need to, you know, try to struggle something awful like this. So, well, in fact, you know, white does not need to try to kill. White can just probably just, you know, kill black in this, focusing on the outside and let black live, right? Like black's gonna live eventually with only 2 points. And then white can live here in Sente, and then the outside belongs to white. this is a fantastic position for white to be in. All right, that just tells you that this doesn't work. The correct move is for black to attach, honey connect. This will make the group more or less alive for now. And white needs to play a sente move. Obviously, this is a sente. If you don't play, I can squeeze honey, and then these guys are gone, right? So black correct move is to play here, and then white lives, right? First, we live the corner. Not only this lives, but leaves a very annoying push over here that's going to threaten black's life and death, right? So at this point, if black pushes, we can block. Black cuts, we can extend, right? You can hold this position actually as white, right? So just as a conclusion, if you want to know why, I can just show you. There's absolutely nothing. Looks like it's a little bit dangerous, but actually, it's not. After this, if you extend, I can push. If you extend, I can push. There's no problem, right? So if you extend once again, I can squeeze, wedge here. Black plays here, and then we connect everything. So this group has no problem. This group has no problem. This group has no problem. What's waiting for black is a very inefficient move in here to live himself, and the outside. Who knows what happens on the outside, right? Black's actually very weak as well on these stones. So this is a very good position for white. So that shows you that white can hold this position actually, right? It looks like there's some weaknesses, but given that this connecting is a sente, it's actually not weak. All right, all that to say that this is not the optimal move, right? This is actually a bad move for black. Another mistake you can catch. The correct move is for black to pull the stone back, right? So this is the main variation. Well, against this variation, white needs to first fix this problem now because this stone is helping out this poke. So we have to connect everything. Now we are leaving a choice for black. Black, do you want to, honey and capture the stone here, or do you want to block at G18? Well, this is the exciting moment because I think if your master or sensei or coach is a high dan player, let's say he's a 5 dan, 6 dan player, he's probably gonna honey here, right? This looks very big. It gives black the roots. Yeah, it just looks like a very important vital point to play. After this exchange, this is where you can set up the trick or the trap for your sensei, right? This is not for a single digit Q player or a low dan player. We're trying to catch a shark here. So pay attention to this. Your next move is to play here. Black obviously will play here, right? If he hasn't watched my video, he will play here. Let's figure out what we can do to punish this mistake. White's next move is to play the Kosumi. The idea behind this is to sacrifice the stones inside, right? If you watch my trick video on 18.5, this is exactly the same idea. We try to sacrifice territory to gain a monstrous outside. Against this move, black's only move is to Kosumi out, right? First of all, this move is obviously not going to work because, because it just gets enclosed inside, right? So not only that, there's several ways to do that, right? If you play here, I can just cut you off like this, right? If you play here, I can also cut off. You play here, I can just play here. You play here, I can, let's see what I can do here as the optimal move. Right, this is white's turn, so it's very easy to get out. And then there's a lot of ways to get out, right? Even this probably works, right? yeah, this hop out get works. Even this also gets out. Yeah, and also probably this also gets out. So as long as you get out, what happens is black needs to go back and try to kill white. And in fact, it's really hard to kill white because white has a lot of liberties. So it's a mess for black outside. On the inside, and the outside is under white's control. So this move doesn't work at all. The more resilient move is for black to get out this way. And now we have the Tsuji, right? That only you knows because you kept watching my videos. And to thank you for keep watching my video, we'll introduce you to the evil trick. That's for you to hop here. Now black's facing problems. If black push, we can just follow. Looks like we're broken, right? Like if you look at this position, seems like there's a way for black to break out. Yes, and in fact, black is kind of out because if we play here, we have weaknesses. But now we can stab black on the back, right? We can say, hey, let me stab you in the back. And what do? And then black says, I resign, because now this is really collapsing for black. If black connects here, we cut black off. Whenever white connects here, these guys are dead, right? Say, for example, white connect, white has 6 liberties and black has 4, and that's GG. And of course, if black connects here, we all know what to do, right? This is very obvious. We can cut this, save everything, kill black over here. Black has no way to catch this, so black has to run, white has to run. It's a chaos outside, but look at what happens here. That's already game over. So your idea is to hope black will struggle here and then stab him right at G16. Black's only defense is to connect back because he can't be stabbed at G16. And now we can safely connect back at here, right? This is, or you can think about just connecting over here. That's also okay. But idea is to connect. And black cannot do whatever he wants. Looks like we have some weakness, but he has to watch for his liberties over here as well. Because there's still a liberty fight over here. Black's gonna win, but it's very painful to actually capture white over here, because white's gonna gain more and more stones on the outside, and this is, and whenever white gets like a monstrous outside, this game will be very difficult for white because for black, because white's influence is gonna affect the bottom. It's gonna affect the right side. And the problem with the liberty fights, black has to go back and fill in a bunch of his own territory to capture white. So this is definitely a fantastic position for white to be in. So here probably black's best defense right now is to play something like this, further strengthening white's outside, and then like Tanuki here, right? So and then just start playing somewhere else. This is probably the best idea right now. Or probably just Tanuki here. The idea is for blacks to Tanuki, to not keep playing in the local area, because the more he plays, the more serious this liberty fight is gonna become. Because if you play here, okay, one less liberty here, you know, I don't know, the only way you can increase your liberty is to attach here, which I talked about. But if you try to fight over here, you might end up having less liberties. So black needs to be very careful, which pretty much means that white controls the outside. Now, I understand if you are not yet like a down level player, it's really hard to appreciate what does this thing do for me, right? Like, you know, it doesn't seem to generate any profits. But the problem well, not the problem, I guess the idea is you appreciate the value of this as you know, as you play more games, as you level up. As I said, this entire wall, this entire wall, exercise influence towards everywhere on the board, right? Whenever, just say, when I'm trying to give you a feeling of it, because whenever you play this approach, it's not only approach, right? It's building yourself, right? Whenever you play this, it's not enclosing your corner, it's building yourself. Why do you have this feeling of you are building yourself, you're trying to gain a moyo? Is because of these guys over here. So this is, you can verify with AI that this is a favorable position for white. Right, so white's probably at close to 70% win rate. And the other worrisome variation I can see is obviously for black to go back, right? What if black goes back? If white gets greedy and connect, then we can hop out. And now because you can't stab me at g16, thanks to my defense, I can break out here. Well, the idea is for white to not fall into the trap. Actually, white just needs to follow up with this idea of enclosing black. Black's counterattack needs to be carefully considered because whenever, right, white can respond, right? But whenever white plays here and then connect, right? Look at the liberty differences, right? So black cannot do whatever he wants. And if black ever has to go back, and I think he has to at some point, to go back and capture the entire group, that's a move inside his own territory, right? And in the meantime, white gets a move on the outside. So this difference is absolutely insane. This is a -1 point. This is a move for white, right? The difference is absolutely insane. So nothing to be scared about this variation. We can just enclose, follow up without the idea, and control the center, right? So this is a excellent trick that I think if your sensei is not a professional player or very strong amateur level player, very easy for him to fall into this trap. And so usually I would love to present the correct variation carefully, but since I'm presenting from the perspective of you, for you, basically to set up the trap, I'll briefly cover the correct variation for black. The correct variation is for black to play this unimaginable move, that is to bump into white. White extends down, black honeys, white honeys, black extends, and white gets back. Black pushes once and then play the small knight. White settles himself. This is the AI recommended variation. That is a equal position for both sides, right? Absolutely equal position. You're not getting punished for your two-space little pincer, right? There's no way you get punished by a sort of outdated but Joseki. And I think there's a lot of reasons to like white here because white's quite settled. This group is not weak. And then there's also a lot of reasons to like black because black is already alive and black has a very nice shape in the center. So this is just totally equal game for both sides. All right, so that's how, if your sensei wants to dodge your punch, he has to figure out to play the h17 move, right? Very difficult to figure out. Most people would just block here and then we can Kosumi. Very, very important to remember this Kosumi here. Black tries to run out. Remember we can stab him over here. Very important. And of course, if he goes back, we just need to understand that this move, it doesn't do anything for black. In fact, we can just cover the outside, play a very valuable move. And remember that black cannot do any counterattack he wants because we still have some brothers inside that refuse to die. So we need he needs another move inside his territory to exchange with our move on the outside. This is a very good position for white to be in. All right, so this will end the video for today. Today I have presented to you different places that your opponent can make mistakes. And the exciting part is there are more mistakes for your opponent to make in the upcoming video. There are more traps and tricks inside this very rare I guess the two-space low pincer pretty much no one plays. Very rare but extremely intricate Joseki. So the next video I will present the other main variation is for black to block on the outside, and this is more or less the preferred variation, right? This is slightly better than Hane here. Against this variation, we'll look at how white's going to survive inside the corner, how white's going to fight against the 4 stones, what kind of liberty fights can white get into in order to trick black. Alright, so thank you very much for tuning in, and if you like this trick, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so when the second video about this trick comes out, you don't miss out on it. If you like this trick, you can also click the thumb up button, and I will see you guys next time.